Well,
Uh,
here we go. Here he goes. It was like, well, very good evening, everyone. Welcome along to episode 225 of the Studio Rats Q&A Live. My name's James Ivy,
I'm Paul Drew.
and you are all very welcome to our weekly dust up of the interwebs. It's been a
Yep.
busy week. I feel like I live in Cardboard City at the moment, but I will share some of the acquisition goodness with you all shortly, but it's tradition. I mean, and who am I to break with tradition? That we start by saying, Mr. Drew, what have you been up to?
I have been doing lots of videos. I did the video on the Red 7 Evo, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's another load box that's turned up. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that in a minute. What else have I been doing? I had a rehearsal last night.
Oh, tell us more.
It was good. Bit rough and a bit rough around the edges and stuff, but it was good.
Pub rock or function band?
What's that? Say again?
Pub rock or function band?
A bit of in between, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and probably I'd like it to be a bit more. I'd like the music to be a bit more rock, but it's turned up a bit more funk. That's
Okay.
fun. That's
Yeah.
fun. What else? Yeah, just that sort of stuff. Had a couple of days off last week. Couple of days off, and then just back to it. And it's busy. What about yourself?
So busy tail end of last week, getting 3 big videos up and over the weekend on the whole Atmos project. The start of the Atmos project, it's well and truly underway now. Loads of stuff keeps arriving for that, and loads of people are sort of saying, doing exciting things and sending things, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Nice.
Loads of prep for videos that are happening later on in this week and next week, because I mean, I know the world assumes that we know everything there is to know about everything, but actually even we have to learn this stuff sometimes.
We certainly do.
And because often we are ahead of the curve,
Yeah.
it's quite difficult for us to know the processes that end users after the embargo date will go through, because sometimes we have to go back to get drivers and stuff like that for software, don't we? We have to go in the back doors and the developer route, and then it's quite complicated to try and get over the proper normal. Anyway, a lot of learning has been going on my part.
I haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm on about most of the time.
No.
Basically, there's some cool stuff coming,
Right.
and loads of new kit coming, and some I can talk about, some I can't, and yeah, we'll get on to new gear in a bit. I am going to join us in the show. I'm going to post the show link there. So if anybody wants to join us and they are in a quiet space, I've got a microphone and a camera and stuff and can do all that sort of stuff, you're more than welcome. We should at this point say thank you to our friends at Thomann and at Shaw for these rather lovely USP microphones, which we are talking on right now, and they sound mad fan. Should we do it?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Dig is in.
Diggy is in the house.
Dig is in the house. I think he's asleep.
Is he?
There's a weird thing going on with his eye.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird. Right.
Here we go. Boom.
Nabs. Hello, mate. He says, greetings, rats, and all eyes watching. Paul, love how clean and precise you execute your fast runs. And that surely takes a lot of practice and discipline. Well, it takes a lot of edits on the... takes a lot of takes when I'm recording. How difficult is it to do it standing up? Funny enough, that's a good question, because last night I haven't really done any standing playing for God knows how long, and how much harder is that? Yeah. So the guitar was almost like
Mark King.
The guitar was a little bit Mark King. It wasn't quite as high as that, and I've got to say, I need to do some practice standing up. For the fast playing.
it is funny how I was doing some guitar this morning for a video, and I went, the guitar wasn't the main part of the video, so I wasn't being super critical.
Yeah.
But there were 7 takes of me going, no, no, no.
It's funny. It's normally very bad language with me. It's
red light fever. Yeah, it was like, oh, for God's sake, and that's being mild.
Yeah, yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy standing up. It's definitely not easy standing up. Because I think the perfect position is sitting down.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's just so natural for guitar, isn't it?
it's why Mr. Petrucci has got those fake monitors in front of him, isn't he? So he can put his. They're not monitors, but they're foot risers.
Ah, that's interesting. So when he does his sort of fast
Yeah,
stuff,
he's got his knee up and he's perfectly balanced. Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought that was like a performance thing. Excellent.
No. He said it so it puts it in the proper classical position, so he can actually do all the
excellent.
ridiculously fast stuff.
Nice.
And they're all diamond plate finished, so they look really cool as well.
Oh, cool. Tim, see you later. See you later, Tim.
Well, we'll see you in a bit.
Coming over. Is he coming over?
Mm.
M. Hi, Rats. So many predictions today. Only one is missing. Could you elaborate on what your expert prediction of how today's victory of Mr. Trump will impact the future development of the guitar tone? Thanks. What do you think?
Well, I think we'll have tone. We'll have plenty of tone. We'll have super tone. We'll have so much tone. There'll be so much tone. Did I say tone?
That's actually quite good. Well done. Well done. That is actually that was probably the only funny thing you've ever done. Well done. Well done.
Well, so I've been talking to various people this morning, or today,
yeah,
and several people are saying, "Better the devil you know."
Yeah.
Several people are saying, it's not like we haven't weathered him before. I mean, and the only other thing I can say is, America, thank you for not making us look stupid for the next 4 years.
Forgive the guy. And honestly, just look, he's voted in. The majority of people voted for him. There must be a reason for that. Someone's, so let's give him a chance, I'd say. But anyway, let's go. Next one.
Controversial.
M, so one more serious note. I'm really curious about what tube type does Paul have in his hook amp? 6L6s, EL34s, and would you consider 2 hooks in stereo, each with different sets of tubes for good match? Oh, I didn't know they did them in different configs. I think. Let's have a look. Oh, they're 34.
Right.
The EL34s.
What was really funny is when you walk, when they do those films where, the attack of the 60-foot woman, and it's all to do with perspective.
Okay.
Right. You look like that. That amp looked minute in the background. And then all of a sudden you went up to it and was like, oh, okay, purpose is not that small.
Awesome. No, it's big. It's quite a big amp. Dermot. He says, well, we need to say thanks to Pet, first of all. Go back to Pet.
We do. Sorry. I'm terribly sorry.
Thanks, Pet. Pet's a member. Oh, I thought you were a member, Pet. Anyway, thanks, Pet.
Thank you.
Dermot, he says, good evening to all. I recently got the Boss SY200 Garara synthesizer. Are you familiar with it? Any comments with your views on guitar synths? It would be awesome. Thank you. Excellent channel. Thanks, mate. Funny enough, I've got one in the garage. Emerald Guitar sent one over to do a video on their MIDI system inside of their. Where is it? Where's that guitar? There. It's right there. Can't see it. That guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I've got one. I think that's an SY200. So yeah, I've never. I can't say I've never used. I have used MIDI guitar before, but not for like probably 20, 25 years. So God knows.
The full Pat Metheny on it.
Yeah. Well, I doubt that'll happen, but
I used to use one all the time at Sibelius because obviously I could because it was genuinely converting to MIDI, I could get it to notate what I was playing.
Yeah. Well, I think, but when I was using guitar synths, or when I had a guitar synth, it wasn't that good. So it was just like if you played anything, it would just splash a load of MIDI information over. It wasn't accurate.
You have to be a super accurate player, and I'm super not. Although I did do one show, and a guy called Matt Smith, who was the Ovation demonstrator at the time, came and went, "Oh, I'll have a go," and he did this beautiful finger picking thing that I recorded and then whipped for every demo I ever used from there on in, because it notated it perfectly.
Oh, nice. Anton, hi, Rats in Chat. Hi, Anton.
Hello.
Mr. Milner, evening all. Evening, Keith. Dave says, evening from York. Hope you're all well. When is the Tonix upgrade coming? Still waiting. And it's now November. That's true. Do we know any more about that?
I believe the initial release was supposed to be the end of November. I believe. Don't hold
end of November.
I thought it was end of November. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Although I did get a white Tonix this week, which I'm very excited about, and I'll come on to that in a bit.
Nice.
Because I had a little idea, and that idea, then I got a bit carried away with that idea.
Nice. Tim, hello, Rats. Hello, Tim.
Hello, team. Hello, team.
Gaza says, hope everybody's... hello, everybody. Hope all is well. And to you, mate. Phil, evening, everybody. Evening, Phil. Chris, evening, and I hope everyone is well.
Yes, we're all doing well.
JP said, evening, all. I don't usually manage to watch live, so enjoying this rare treat. Well, nice to have you along. Loads of boxes.
Yes. Loads of boxes and load boxes. I see what you did there.
Yeah, nice. Pet, evening both. What would your compressor ratio be set to for a dynamic vocal performance?
How long is the metaphorical piece of string?
Exactly.
4
to 1.
Yeah, I was going to go between 6 and 8, because depending on how dynamic. And I've worked with singers who very much like Kate Bush, who they want to hear every single breath as loud as the voice. So 10 to 1, it's ridiculous.
I would think it's more threshold than ratio for that sort of stuff. I think
that
it's
true,
yeah.
But yeah, all good.
Jeff, good morning from sunny Brisbane. I hope that everyone's well and having a marvelous time. And you, Jeff. Gaza says, hopefully this load box is not £500+. Oh, the new one that's turned up. Well, load boxes are that sort of money.
There's quite a lot. They have to do quite a lot of work, don't they? It's not a simple circuit.
Yeah. You're not good. I mean, you could go and buy a crappy, load box. I was going, God, that was lucky. I was going to use a brand name then. I'm glad I didn't. I think you know which one I was going to use.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Is it the name of?
No, don't go any further. Don't go any.
The name of the panther from the Jungle Book?
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah,
that one will do. Yes, yeah, there is. Yeah, that was one of them. Yes.
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 You the look on your face. Oh my God, what's he going to say? Oh my God, what's he going to say?
Yeah. We don't want to get sued by the man himself who sues, the man that sues.
What, Ken Tampling?
No, not him again. Yeah. So yes, it's more than it is more than £500. Although I had a quick look on Toman. Toman or Toman? Toman.
I always call it Toman, but that's just because I'm.
No one ever complains. And there's a B stock one in at the moment for like next to half of the retail price.
Ooh.
So around the £500 mark. Around.
Interesting. But they, We've come a long way from the Marshall Power Break, haven't we?
Well, shall I show this? Because I think it's...
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's show it. Okay. All I can say is, welcome back to the 1970s.
Is it the Palmer?
It is the Palmer.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the 1970s.
It looks like a 70s high-end hi-fi, doesn't it?
It does. It's exactly. It weighs a ton, actually. Right. So what's different about this?
Yeah.
Is it's all analog. There's no IR. It uses analog speaker modeling.
Wow.
And it sounds good. And it's also got a mic in,
right,
with a mic preamp in it.
Yeah.
So you can blend internally a microphone.
That's cool.
It's brilliant. It's such a great idea. And because there's no digital aspect to it, there's no latency.
No latency. Yeah, definitely. That's brilliant.
It really good. And it's got a stereo effects loop. It's like fully featured. And if I'm completely honest, I was put off by a certain YouTuber who I had a conversation with that was ripping into it. So I was almost like, oh, well, you know, it can't be very good. It's really good.
Okay.
And that YouTuber has a bit of a thing against it, and I think this is really, really good.
But it does look like a 70s NAD stereo, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the design. I don't know why they did that. It's got that sort of fag stained, in the English term, fag stained,
nicotine stained stereo, isn't it? Pub stereo is what it looks like.
Yeah, but it's a funny design, but it's really good. It's really good.
If it works, I can get over many things.
Yeah.
Aesthetically.
I mean, they must have designed it like that for a reason.
Yeah.
Hold on, Mr. Philip Carter's joining us.
He is. Please welcome the man from the 40 Watt Podcast. Sir, you are very welcome.
Hello.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Let me turn my headphones up so I can hear y'all.
Mate, I didn't realize you had that many guitars.
Ooh.
I actually don't hear y'all's audio. Y'all hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
That's very strange. So I will figure that out here shortly. Just don't mind me.
Okay.
Oh, I know why it is. Here it is.
You got it?
There we are.
There we go.
Hey.
That should work.
Can you hear us? He still can't hear us. This is great radio.
Doesn't work. I will leave and come right back.
All right, let's keep going.
Boom. There we go.
Cotson, hi there. Hi, Cotson. How are you? Richie. Chicago Timmer, been binging on the Boss floor units after your GX10 video. Looking at the GX100 and even the GT1 sounds better than my current Pod 2. Been binging on the GX10, GX1 and GT1. Yeah, they're all great, mate. They're all really good. Yeah, depends how much editing you want to do and stuff. But the GT1's, yeah, it's great. But I quite like the Pod. I mean, I was surprised how good the Pod sounds. Last time I plugged it in, it was just it's ridiculous, isn't it? You just plug it in, just go, oh yeah, that sounds all right.
Yeah. At this point, we should do this.
Nabs, have a pint, chaps. Cheers, mate. Thanks, very kind of you. Cheers, Nabs.
Thank you so much. Now I need to get back to where we were.
Where's Philip gone?
He'll be back. Hang on, where were we? We were. Sorry, I'm lost.
Right, shall I find it?
Yeah, I think. Were we there?
Let me just look. No, way past that, mate.
Oh God, here we go. There we are. Boom.
No wonder we lose subscribers when we do the live show.
This is real life. This isn't the edited perfection that are our videos.
No, certainly not.
Oh my God.
Certainly not. Neil, Greetings, Rat Communitar from Kangaroo Island. Oh, South Australia. Hello, mate. Very early over there.
It is.
Keith thinks the GT1's great, Tim. So there we go.
There you go. Keith. Right. And careful. Stand by your glasses and your silly hats.
Ah, here he is, Mr. Casardi. He said, hello to the Rat Kings and fellow vermin. Hello, mate. Hope you are well.
Oh, Al's in the house as well.
Al. Good to see you, Al. Dexter. What kind of chair do you recommend? It's funny. James and I both use the same chair.
Yep.
It's a Herman Miller Aeron.
Yeah.
And they are really, really expensive. But if you, depending where you live, banks have this thing. Banks and offices have this thing where they have to replace the chairs. And companies go in and they buy these chairs by the hundreds.
Yeah.
And then they sell them secondhand. So go and get a secondhand Herman Miller. Cost you a couple of £100 as opposed to £2,000.
Yeah, totally. There was a website called, it's like secondhandchairs.com or something like that. I mean, it's that obvious. But if you just put Herman Miller secondhand, they're a lot cheaper. I mean, like
it must be the same. It must be the same in wherever you're from. But yeah, they're really expensive, and they're the only chair I think that is good for long term.
Yeah, I've bought cheap, relatively cheap, like £200-300 IKEA chairs, and it's totally money thrown away.
Yeah, I've just did
money thrown away. Spend a couple £100, get a second-hand chair, you'll be sorted.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're talking to themselves again, which is always a good sign.
Tim says, "Oh no, he's talking to themselves." That's fine.
Yeah.
Pet, when I hit the red light and start singing, I become tone deaf. Forget how to play cowboy chords. Oh, mate, it's the same for everyone.
Yeah, totally.
It's funny. It's funny. I have days where I can do a video. I can literally knock out a video in 20 minutes. I have days when I'm doing a video and it's taking me 2 days.
There's times where I've been with Paul, and one or t'other of us cannot get a word out, let alone play a note. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And yet I think I'm quite good at seeing the story.
You're good.
You've gone, how the hell are you going to edit this together? And I go, no, it's all there. It's all, the bits are all there.
Yeah. Tim, let's not talk about him. Oh, okay. I think we're talking about Trumpet.
No, I wasn't talking about him, actually. or was he talking about Ken Tamplin?
It could be Tamplin. I know that feeling, yeah. Says Keith.
Yeah, they're all talking themselves again. Yeah, lovely.
No more chances for the clown. No more chances for the clown. There we go. I think we know who Tim's talking about.
Yeah.
Payment got cancelled ages ago and I lost my bank card. Yeah. Might have been alcohol involved. So I hit up the new payment method. Oh, thanks, mate. It's not necessary, but much appreciated.
I had my card cloned this week.
Nasty.
Very frustrating. Fortunately, I noticed very, very quickly. But yeah, I'm without bank cards at the minute, which is somewhat frustrating.
Keith, a friend of mine, has the Boss hex pickup. Oh, Boss do a hex pickup.
Yeah, Boss. It's all Roland.
Oh, the Roland. Sorry, yeah, of course. And use it to perform some quite nice, impressive piano parts. Nice.
I used to use it most when I have my own band. I would set the bottom string, so the E string, to be bass, so I could play bass parts and chords.
Oh, cool.
Which worked quite well. I mean, it meant I had to be a much better player than I am now. But
yeah, you have to think quite hard with that. Where's Philip gone?
I don't know. Maybe he's rebooting and he's, I don't know, something. They're checking themselves again, which is great. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Good evening. Hope you're well this week, says Owen. Hope you're well too, Owen. Good to hear from you.
I'm not going to show, if you're chatting amongst yourselves, I'm not going to put it up because there's no point, because you're already
Mr. Paul, how are you, sir? Good to hear from you. Adam, hello, mate. He says, evening all, just waiting for my wife to come into the living room and say, not these two again. Yes. Hello, Mrs. Lee.
Coming in your ears, Chorley FM.
Oh, I love a bit of Partridge coming in your ears. Dexter, thanks. Yeah, no problem, mate. Michael Hennessy, how shall I cook my eggs today? It's a good question, mate. Let's have a think about this.
See,
I think you should push the boat out and you should chop some courgette up and have an omelette. Have a courgette
you know
omelette.
what? I was going to say an omelette. That's weird. I was going to say an omelette with.
Well, it's not that weird. You've only got about 4 choices, but
no,
it's a 25% chance.
You know when you go to a reasonable hotel and they say you can have your eggs anywhere you like. I always go an omelette.
Good
I
hotel omelette.
Yeah, I always say a cheese and ham omelette because even
Guitar Summit, the hotel we're all staying at, Guitar Summit, good omelettes. They had a chef, mate. Oh, it was good. Do love an omelette.
Yeah,
there you go, mate. Get on it.
We're on it.
Owen, I've got a Herman Miller Aero in work for my bad back. Came home during COVID. Ain't going back. Absolutely, mate.
Yep.
Keith, for chairs, I have a Honomi, expensive but comfortable. It has arms which fold away. It was an upgrade from secondhand Aeron. Used to have. Nice.
Yeah.
Don't know that. DMAC. Hey guys, are the amps in the Boss i2 the same as the GX10? Oh, that I don't know. I'd have to switch. I'd have to switch them on. I don't know. It depends. The GX10 is AIRD. I imagine the IR2 is AIRD as well. I think so.
There's got to be a way of saying that which makes it sound comedy. AIRD. Ard.
Shep picked up a Herman Miller Aeron for less than 200 squids on Fleabay. That's 2. Oh, an evening, mate.
Oh,
Pal Guitars. Hello, Pal Guitars. Don't know Pal Guitars. Do you make guitars, Pal? Do you make guitars? Do you play guitars? What is your thing?
Or is he just a friend of them?
It could be. Tone Dragon. I burnt myself out of playing guitar. Curious, is this what happens to the rats? Any tips to get the mojo back, mate?
All the time.
All the time. All the time. At the moment, I'm going through a bit of a. I don't really want to pick it up. Just have a break. Honestly, just have a few days break. Come back to it. Probably, I reckon 4 days. I reckon good 4 days. Wait, come back to it when you want to come back to it.
Yeah, I obviously because I have guitar is not my main thing. Drums is my main thing. We know this. Let's move on. But there are moments where I go, I don't want to play guitar. I'll do some drums, and then so I can still stimulate the muso side of my brain. And there are some days I go drums.
Yeah. There's some days when I pick up a guitar and just go, I sound absolutely shite today. And it's just
that was me on guitar this morning.
Yeah, most days. Stuart, I use an IKEA Lidkullen stool as the business, especially as I'm a short ass. Nice one.
Yeah. I love the way IKEA stuff is such easily rememberable names.
Where's Philip? Jeez, I want to see all his guitars. He had loads of guitars. Keith, try something new. Slide. That's true.
Yeah, and I bought a cheap lap steel for doing that stuff on. Only like a cheap Gretsch Electromatic thing, like a couple of £300. But it sends you off in another direction. Gives me some really good like writing ideas and stuff.
I've never played that. I should play that.
I love it. It's great. And I bought a really heavy bar as well, so it's much easier to stay in tune.
Yeah, nice.
You can't do it quick, but I can do all the kind of the Pink Floyd kind of the pigs, boo, boo, all that sort of silliness.
Nice. Adam, he says, love the Valiant. Where does it rank among the best guitars you ever played? Oh, shall I go and get it?
Any excuse.
It's certainly one of the lightest guitars I've ever played. There it is. It's really good. It's yes, it's one of my favorite guitars actually. It's I think it's with the HSS. It's really good. It's a really good guitar. I would highly recommend them. And if you use the giving us a promo code of Studio 10, you get 10% off, and that equates to over 200 quid.
That's quite a chunk, yeah.
And the thing is, like, everyone's saying, you know, this not everyone's saying. There's loads of comments on the video, people saying, "Oh, it's really expensive," and you go, "Yeah, but it's a handmade, it's a handmade instrument, all handmade
with
and
handmade bits on it as well.
with handmade bits on it, and it's still half the price of a Fender custom."
Yeah.
And that's a basic custom. You know, that's a basic custom shop.
Yeah.
So I do not think that is expensive. I think it's incredibly good value. And do you know one of the things I really love about it? If you can see it here, you've got this. You've got the truss rod adjustment in the 22nd fret. See, I had to count then. Isn't that weird? Yeah, and it's got the truss rod adjustment wheel in the 22nd fret. So you never have to take the neck off, do any of that stuff. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, perfect guitar. And it's green.
And it's green.
Yeah, no, it's a very good guitar.
No, I didn't think you'd love it as much as you did, but I played it and went, "Oh, this is nice."
It's very good. Yeah, as soon as I picked it up, I had a bit of a at Hennings. I had a bit of a like, "Oh God, this is weird." I had a bit of a instant word.
Lust?
No, instant connection with it.
All right, cool. So when we were at the guitar show, the London International Guitar Show at Kempton Park, we bought some strings, didn't we?
Yes.
Have you tried them yet?
Yes.
And what do you think?
Great.
I put we've got some String Joy strings and the gauges.
Can I say something before you say anything?
Yeah.
I've put them because they're ever so slightly heavier.
Yeah.
Gauge.
Yeah.
So I put them on a Les Paul, which is absolutely perfect. If you're used to like 10s on a Strat, you put like ever so slightly heavier. You put them on a Les Paul, and it is a match made in heaven. Go on. Sorry, James. Go on. What?
I was just gonna say I put them on my Les Paul.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
They're brilliant. When I first did the switch, it was the D string that really threw me because all of a sudden the D string was really light.
The bottom strings. The bottom strings are quite heavy. Should I go? Let me go and dig it out because stay there.
Oh my God, he's having to go into the cupboard of doom.
Here we go. It's not. No, I've cleared it all out. It's a good cupboard now. Yeah, they're called orbiters, and they're the coated strings, but they do a normal set, and they do a 10 to something else as well. But they're String Joy strings. I think I'm going to be using String Joy exclusively as opposed to just the usual D'Addario, because I think String Joy have got it going on. But yeah. Anyway.
On a Les Paul, that's amazing. So thanks for completely telling me to stop and then completely chewing me down in flames.
Sorry, I was preempting you saying, "Oh, I found them a bit heavy on my thing." So sorry, I do apologise. I should have let you go first. Anyway, should we get Philip on?
Indeed. Welcome, Mr. Philip, the 40 Watt Podcast. Hooray!
Hey, gentlemen.
You can hear us.
I can hear you. Studio Rodentia, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you doing?
I'm okay. We'll just call it okay today.
It's been an interesting day.
Can I say something? Can I say something? It's the first time I've ever seen you. I obviously listened to your podcast.
Oh, sure.
But I didn't even know what you look like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a big old bearded dude. It's fine.
Because I listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
So now I know what you look like. So that's fantastic.
So now
we
can lust after the back wall.
Yeah,
God.
It's a display of extravagance. Is all it is. It's dumb.
There's nothing dumb there.
The man's got some nice guitars there. Look at that lot.
This is what happens when you have a dual income, no kids, and one hobby only. So this is exactly what happens. Also, I'll be honest, I flipped a lot of gear during COVID and the rising prices, and so I was able to turn a lot of the gear I already had into some dream pieces. So
Whereabouts in the US are you?
I am in the deep South in Mississippi. So
Now, Paul, take that in mind when you start talking political.
oh, I'm avoiding it. Y'all are my distraction from politics today. So
And I'm not gonna, and I'm not. I think it's this is for America to discuss. It's not for us to get into this. This is as far as I'm concerned, everything's good.
sure, we'll say that. We'll go with that. We'll have coffee in the middle of the afternoon. I'm just doing my best to stay off the bourbon because then I get belligerent, and nobody needs that today. So
once again, cheers.
cheers. Exactly. So how are you guys doing? What are we talking about today? Since I spent most of my time dealing with audio.
So we are. Sorry, mate. You just broke up. Then go again.
Oh, since I spent most of my time dealing with audio, it was cookies, by the way. I had to totally get rid of all the cookies for StreamYard.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, you keep sort of saying things, and then
I think it's you, mate, who's breaking up. It's not us.
Yeah.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, okay. I apologize, James.
He lives out in the middle of nowhere. He lives in the middle of
saying.
nowhere, where electricity's just been invented. Curtains and carpet are new. So
have you gotten one of them moving picture boxes yet?
Yeah. So basically, I live in the equivalent of where you live. I live in the deep south of the UK. So,
I gotcha. Actually, this isn't surprising because all my podcasts, the episodes I've had the most issues with lag and this kind of breakup has always been UK and Europe. It's just a thing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to fix it.
And I was listening to the podcasts fairly recently,
Mhm.
and you were talking about a particular brand of guitar that what is it? Is it a Mendocino or something like that?
Oh yeah, Grez.
Can I have a look at, because I've never seen one. Let's have a look.
Oh, I love the storage boxes as well. There, the checker box.
Oh yeah, I'll show you that again. So
Cool. Oh,
this
look at
that.
This is a Grez Mendocino. Now this is a baritone. He makes it as a standard as well.
Oh, look at that.
It is
That's great.
One piece mahogany back and sides. So it's one piece, no lines, and it is it's hollow.
Oh,
chambered. Yeah.
And so it's a redwood top, which you can't harvest redwood anymore. What he does is he goes anytime. This is Barry at Grez Guitars. He harvests any of the redwood from tearing down buildings and bridges in California. So he harvests all of it that he can to turn into guitar tops. So
so redwood was like a really soft wood.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a spectacular guitar. I'm a big so Barry is a sponsor of the podcast, full disclosure. And I'm a big man. I love the guitars he's making. He just recently came out with a new model that I claim some responsibility in. It's called a Grand Tour. And
this is the hollow one.
Yeah, it's the big.
Yeah. I heard
you
you talk about it.
And mine's on my way back to me. I didn't talk about it when it got here. Unfortunately, it got here and FedEx managed to damage it. So I had to ship it right back to Barry for repair. Barry has told me that it was an easy fix. He was able to fix the cosmetic issue. He said, you'll never know there was a problem. But it is a 14-inch, fully hollow, dual P90 Bigsby, just killer guitar. And I can't wait to get it back in my hands. But what ultimately happened is I fell in love with the Collings Julian Lage model.
Yeah,
and,
it's nice.
JL 470. And I played one at Fretboard Summit in Chicago. And then I played another one the next year at Fretboard Summit in Chicago. Could not get that guitar out of my head. And I had told Barry, can your Mendocino is already kind of close to this body style.
Yeah.
Can you do it as an arch top with a floating bridge, fully hollow, the whole 9 yards? And he was like, nah. And then so I messaged him like months later. I'm like, no, seriously, Barry, I really want this guitar. And at that time he was launching a bass 6, and he said, let me get through this bass 6 project. And so he got through that, and then I messaged him again, and then he was like, okay, let's do it. And then he started sending me mock-ups and diagrams and started to flesh it out. And of course, scope drift. We drifted a little bit from the original thing I wanted, that I thought I wanted, to what we have now. And then he got so excited about it about halfway through that he's like, no, this is going to become a standard line model. This is a thing I'm going to offer.
Cool.
So I'm really excited to get it back. Actually, I just got the ship notification today that it's on its way back to me.
Oh, nice. And what are the price of these guitars?
The Grand Tour is not cheap. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. So I think the Grand Tour now, what did he end up saying? Because mine is kind of the prototype. So
sure,
I kind of, I'm not going to pretend to have paid this, but it starts at $5.
And what about the Mendocino?
So the Mendocino, the Mendocino starts at it's a bit more affordable. They start at I'm on his website now looking at the pricing. They start at $3,500 for a natural top, $3,600 for a black top.
Nice.
So
you could tell it was chambered though, because you could lift it with one arm. A fully solid mahogany would be weighty.
This is my lightest guitar. I do have a spreadsheet with the weight of all of my guitars because I'm that nerd. And this is a 5.5 pound guitar.
Wow.
Yeah. His standard scale length Mendocino is even lighter. It can sometimes clock in under 5.
Wow. Oh man, I've got a bit of a thing now for that. I like that.
Yeah. Well, you got it. What you got to do is both of y'all need to come over to Fretboard Summit in Chicago in August.
That would be
Skip
August
NAMM.
August is difficult.
Yeah, August is tough. I know there's lots of stuff going on. I've been trying to get Joe from the Guitar Nerds over, but Joe just doesn't travel.
He's a bass player. That's
exactly.
Keep them.
Keep them away. There's no reasoning with them.
Yeah.
But there's some serious toys on that back wall. Unless you're doing I can't say the name, the person who might be green screening their the backdrop.
No, it's all real. I could go back there and touch everything if I needed to.
There's some serious toys back there.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous collection. But it has meant that in a lot of ways I'm kind of in the last year I've kind of realized there's not much that I want out there anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a few things that, that'd be nice, this would be nice, but I can't think of anything that I can't already do or kind of get into that I feel like I need to hunt. I've kind of covered everything.
I think that's where you get to, though, isn't it? When so as I said before, I'm not a first call guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
I think now with the collection of guitars that I've got, I want to upgrade what I've got rather than add to.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's where it gets dangerous and expensive.
I did an awful lot of that, upgrading what I had, because I talk about this on the podcast. So Paul, maybe you've heard me mention it. When I played for a living, the meager living I was making, I had 2 guitars, and I lived with those 2 guitars. In fact, I'm not good at this whole background. This red 135, that was one of the 2. I've had that guitar for now 20 years.
Right.
And so I was there for a long, long time. 2 guitars. There'd be a rotating like third slot where I'd like, this month I'd have a Made in Mexico Telecaster, and then I'd swap it out for something else. But really just those 2. And then COVID hit, and I had a few more by then, a couple more, but then like suddenly I was able to move stuff, and I was able to start flipping stuff, which is how I used to make my money in college, flipping gear, because that was before like eBay was around, but that was really it, right? And so I'd go into all these pawn shops and secondhand stores and junk teaks, and I can't remember what they call them in the UK, money something,
cash converters.
That's it, cash converters. Yeah. Yeah. So, I do all that. And that was how I used to make my spending money. So then COVID hit and suddenly everything was easy to flip and move. So I did that a lot until I ended up at this really spectacular collection of instruments that is far more than my now time for this hobby allows. But
so, okay, what's number one at the minute?
number one, let me put this baritone back before I trip over it. Number one. This is one I hunted.
Oh, look at
Oh, how old is that?
So this is a 2013.
Is it?
It's a 2013 Gibson Luther Dickinson ES335. So it's a 335 with dog ear P90s.
no.
Oh, I was going to say it's a 330. So
Yeah.
Oh, right. Who's
And so
Luther who?
Luther Dickinson he is the guitar player in the North Mississippi All-Stars. He was also in the Black Crowes for a little while. He's a Mississippi guy. I've met and hung out with him. That's not a name drop. That's just he's a cool dude. He's like, I was nobody, but they run in the same blue circles I ran in for a long time. And so I didn't even know this model existed until about 3 years ago. Because I'm a big P90 guy. In fact, this guitar is sort of like the Gibson version of the guitar Barry made me. I love Bigsby's. I love 335s. And then I discovered this guitar existed. I was like, that is all of my favorite things in one guitar. So this is the one that my wife has been instructed that if the house is on fire and she can save one, save this one.
Yeah, before saving herself.
Well, no, save herself. Make sure she can get out. But this is it. I probably should put it not on the wall. She's not that tall. She may not be able to get to that one.
Yeah, keep it low, mate.
But that's number one. I don't really see anything. We'll see once I have the Grez Grand Tour in hand for a little longer than 10 minutes to turn it around and get it fixed after FedEx decided to destroy it. Hey, luckily they didn't completely smash it, so luckily it was reparable.
That is good news. That is really good news.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to hang around and do some?
Yeah.
Putting your
Yeah.
Hang around as long as you want, mate. Go, I've got to go. Just go. It's all good.
Yep. Hang around and chill and join the fun.
Absolutely.
This lot. I've got a whole load of show and tell stuff that will either bore the pants off people or actually be quite cool. So who knows? We'll get a little bit further in and then we'll do some of that.
Rack effects coming back.
I hope not.
Are they?
I love that thing. I know Paul completely destroyed the video that we shot for it.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were pointing at your 11 rack.
I did too.
Soldano SP.
Soldano.
Yeah, that's a bold move. That is a really bold move, bringing out a rack amp in 2024.
Isn't it just?
This is an old one. This is the This is the Japanese version of the SP77, which is the preamp. Now, Paul tried the what's the new triple channel one that you tried called?
I did a review of the X88IR.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And then last week we said, oh my god, they now have brought out an SLO 100 rack. That
are you not keen, Philip?
It's fine. I don't have a problem with them, but there's a part of me that's like, are we really doing this in the age where amps are shrinking? Are we really bringing back rack amps?
That is a very fair point. That is a very fair point. When companies aren't selling a lot of amps, and then someone brings out a rack which is even more niche.
It's a labor of love at that point. You're doing it because you want to, not because you think it's a good marketing decision.
But how cool does it look?
Oh, it's totally awesome. I don't have a Soldano. That is something that has sort of like itched at the back of my brain. But it's never for the reasons anyone thinks. It's never any of the high gain Soldano players. It's because of Warren Haynes. I love Warren Haynes, and he's a big Soldano believer as a clean amp, which is weird.
Funny enough with that, I watched Warren Haynes's rig rundown just to get his settings, because I've got an SLO 100, and so I could copy his exact settings so I could make a profile of it for for the quad cortex and stuff.
But did you clip the bright cap?
Ah, what?
Yeah, he clips the bright cap out of it.
Does he?
Yeah. There's it. In fact, you can order it with the Warren Haynes mod, in which they tweak the tie end. Yeah.
I see. No, well, that's that then. Okay, next question.
I love that thing. That thing. I know it's not new, and if it's racks are coming back, then great. But I love that thing. That kind of goes into the desk. That's how much I've been playing it.
Nice,
yeah. Michael, Paul, seeing you speak with Felix about a pedal at an industry function. Forgot the pedal and the function, but remember how Felix came across. He's just trying to be funny. He's really sweet. No, he's very funny. No. Everyone knows. Everyone knows that Felix is a bit of a joke. No, Felix is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't officially meet him, but I ran into him at NAMM, and I ran into him with Haley from Rocket Music Gear. I don't know if y'all have seen Haley from Rocket. She makes the hats with the knob. It's a volume knob or a tone knob.
Yeah,
the bucket hat. And
Yeah.
Phil X came across her on the floor and saw her hat. He said, "I have to have one." And so she handed him one, and he proceeded to run around like a little kid, so excited about this hat, and show it to everybody. I was like, all right, he's a good dude. I like this guy.
He's great.
I really
like Felix. I like.
He's
a great player.
I met him at London Guitar Show many moons ago, and he didn't have to spend any time with me at all. And yet we hung out like we've been drinking buddies for years. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah,
so, who do you play with? Oh.
It's a little band.
Not the first time in my career I've done one of those sort of moments, I have to admit.
Yeah,
you're like, you're who?
He said, I thought Valiant made boilers. Valiant boilers. Are they branched out into guitars? Different company, but yes. Yeah, same company.
There's a heat gag there somewhere, but I can't think of it right now.
Paul McKinnon says, "Evening, chaps. Let's get the likes up for the video. People just wondered. Yes, thank you, Paul. Give us a like if you're liking it. If you're not, don't worry about it. But it really does help. Have either of you owned a Yamaha RevStar? If so, what did you think? I've never owned one.
I've played one, and I've played a couple. Paul Stacey has got a couple, and
Paul Stacey's got SGs, Yamaha SGs.
I thought the RevStar was the SG.
No, it's a little different. It's just the RevStar's kind of newer. It's got some of that vibe, yes, but it's not the same thing.
So Paul Stacey said to me, you have to check out this guitar. At the moment, they're cheap, but they won't be for long. And then the next day, they weren't.
The Yamaha SG is one of the ugliest guitars ever built, as far as I'm concerned.
But
hideous.
Oh my God, they sound good.
See, I don't think they're that ugly. The Yamaha SGs.
They look too fat. An SG is a thin guitar. They're like Les Paul thickness, but an SG shape, and they look a bit sort of weird.
You want to know what also throws you off that you probably aren't even realizing? They're not asymmetrical. They're perfectly symmetrical, and an SG is not perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got a slight shift to it, and it gives you that whole uncanny valley kind of moment with it that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
On the RevStar though, I think RevStar might be the best budget guitar on the planet right now. And they're underrated. So they go for better money because they're not highly sought after, despite the fact that Chris Buck is out there just ripping on one night after night. I don't know. I think you should get one. Get two of them.
Yeah, get two.
Matching. Yeah, stereo.
Yeah, humbucker and P90.
Steve Alamate, he says, I fell out of love with guitar for a couple of years. We're still teaching though. I think teaching can make you fall out of love with
it.
Ended up focusing on bass for a while, but it was buying a synth that got me back into guitar. That's interesting.
That'll do it. That'll do it. But if it's Steve saying it, surely it's bass, not
bass. Phil, do Valiant sell their pickups? So I spoke to him about this at Guitar Summit, and I think they're thinking about it.
Their pickups are really good.
Really good. Yeah. They're very. I mean, they're the set that I've got have definitely unpotted, so they're definitely very active. They can squeal a bit, but they do sound pretty good.
I like that. I like a bit of out of controlness.
Yeah, I do.
I had to look up who Valiant guitars are now that we're going to talk about them multiple times because, you know, UK brands, I don't always see them.
They're based in Ukraine.
Are they in Ukraine? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ukrainian company. Make so you can see it. So it's like an offset Strat.
Yeah.
It's the Stratua.
It's the Stratua, yeah. That's such a great name. That'd be such a great name.
I am totally on form tonight. I have no idea.
I like it.
Yes.
I think it looks cool.
But yeah, they're really good. Really good guitars.
I played, so I'm not a bass player, but I played one of their basses at the show the other week. And oh my God, it was easy. It was the only thing the top horn, it was kind of like J bass shape, but the top horn was a bit too curly and it didn't do it for me aesthetically, but my God, playing it was so easy.
They make good stuff.
Yeah.
David, he said, I've been using Stringjoy for a while. Still not sure, but they're quality. They definitely are quality.
Yeah.
You're a Stringjoy guy, aren't you, Philip?
What's that? Say it again.
You're a Stringjoy.
I use them on, so I don't use them on electrics, believe it or not. Although I am auditioning the Broadways on a couple of guitars right now because I wanted to try pure nickel strings, which I've never really gotten into. You'd think as a blues guy I'd have been into pure nickel strings by now, but I switched to them on acoustic. I'm not a big coated string guy. I don't like coated strings. I typically don't like the sound. I don't like the feel. I don't have particularly sweaty hands or corrosive sweat or anything, so all of my guitars the strings last a long time. I also have gotten rid of my technique that used to destroy strings too. But I tried the Stringjoy, what do they call them? Foxwoods? The coated acoustic strings.
Right.
I'm not going to go to the closet.
We're going to nod and agree.
Yeah, just nod and agree. Yeah, the orange box, whatever the orange box is. And those are coated acoustics, and those things sound amazing. I will not use any other acoustic string now.
Nice.
But for electric, I bounce back and forth, but I'm mostly a D'Addario guy because it's just what I'm used to. And I have a drawer full of them in there because I buy them every time they're on the stupid deal of the day. So I buy 10 or 12 pack.
Yeah, nice. I've got a friend in the States who normally buys D'Addario 10s for me because it's ridiculously cheaper in the States.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Like what's it run over there? Like I have no idea.
Well, £8 a set now.
Really?
Well, if you buy a set of NYXL, if you buy a coated set, it will cost you probably close to 15.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and see, I use plain old boring XLs. I buy them at $6 or less a set. When Stupid Deal of the Day has them, they do the 10 and 12 packs for like $30. So
I wish.
No. Yeah,
so I literally have like 7 or 8 10 packs in a drawer in the closet over here.
So Joey, if you're listening, can I place my order now for NAMM in January?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Wow. Pat, I'm loving the look of that burning grey Valiant Facebook one. Oh, I haven't seen that. I'll have a look at that.
They make some. The only thing I'll say about that, about your Valiant, Paul, is because it's a poly finish.
Yeah.
And it's a like a relic poly finish. It reminds me of Greg's vintage Strat he bought, which is a poly. It looks it's a different guitar, but it's because the poly finish is so thick. Like a relic poly is kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, that they do nitro. They do nitro ones.
The best.
This one was poly, so it's just unfortunate. I mean, unfortunately, or not. I mean, I'd always go for nitro if I could.
The best finish, the best relic finish was those. Do you remember that the white telly that we played at Guitar? Was it a LSL?
LSL, yeah.
Oh my God, the relicing on that with the red under with the white over the top.
Oh yeah, that was good. Nice, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Have you got one?
No, I don't have
Fine,
one
he's
of those.
dragging one
We're
out.
talking about relics. I know they're a little Marmite for folks, but
oh,
see, that's a good looking. That's a nice, good lyric. A relic. What's the weight of that?
This one is 6 something.
wow.
I think it's
See,
like
light
6
as well.
6 pounds 10 ounces, something like that.
It's because they're pine, aren't they?
Yeah. So that's a pine back or a pine body.
Oh, look at that though.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
The thing is for me is, and I know that people love them, and there's some really good ones. The only ones that I've ever played, and I've played 2, and they didn't play that well.
Oh, really? That's surprising to me.
And
because
it's such a shame because I'd really like them. I really like them.
So I have 4 Novos.
Oh wow!
And this is the only one that I bought directly from Novo. The others I've traded into or sold some stuff and got kind of thing, bought on a deal. This is the one I ordered. This was my 40th birthday guitar, and
Nice.
So I'm really surprised to hear that it didn't play well. They've got a Plek in factory, so they're Plek before they leave. I think they might have 2 Pleks now. Don't quote me on that because I may be wrong.
Make it a duplex.
This is what he's done. He's done one funny.
That is dad joke worthy. Yeah, that's it.
And he's very he definitely does dad jokes. I think that's no. I don't think it was. I reckon it was just maybe it was an older one. It just needed something. I was expecting sort of angels to come down. The first time. I was just a bit like, oh
well, I've got one that doesn't give me the instant euphoric moment that it's a great guitar, but it's not like the best thing I've ever played. This thing is one of the best necks I've ever played. But that's just, I have another one. I have one of their F1s, the Solus F1, which is the single Telecaster pickup volume tone. That neck, that one was magic. I got a couple that are just kind of, they're good, but I also just love the aesthetic. I like beat up guitars. I know people have issues with relics. I think they're wrong, but that's okay. I love a guitar that I don't have to worry about dings on. I like it a lot. In fact, one day I was just sitting here and somebody was asking me about the finish, because it's finish over finish. It's a gold over a 3-tone sunburst. And they were like, does that go over the whole guitar or is it just in the places in the pocket? I said, no, it's the whole guitar. And then just scratched a piece of the gold off so they could see the sunburst underneath. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. It's a tool. I gig this thing. I don't own gear that I won't gig. That's my rule. Don't own it if you don't gig it or if you won't gig it. And so, I highly recommend them.
I think that's beautiful. That guitar. I'd love that.
Yeah, me too. I desperately try and stick to that rule, except for that drum kit.
Oh, really?
That stays in the studio because it's a high gloss finish.
Oh yeah.
If it got dinged, I'd be like a PRS owner.
Well, you are a PRS owner. That's what it is. You are basically a PRS. That is a PRS.
That's a PRS guitar. That's a PRS drum kit. Yeah.
I have a drum kit. I'm not much of a drummer. Remember how you said you're not a first call guitarist? I'm definitely not a first call drummer. I'm a last call drummer, and that probably means you couldn't cancel the gig either. But I have a way better than I should ever have drum kit. It's for studio purposes. I don't do a lot of recording anymore. I'm looking to get back into it. In fact, I've got a guy coming on Friday we're trying to finish out a shop that's in my backyard that I'm going to try to turn that into a live room and build on a control room and start doing some recording back there. But that's what that drum kit. I've got this really nice DW in what do they call it? Gold Nebula or Nebula Gold that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace for way less than the dude should have been selling it for.
Nice.
Well done.
Nice.
Yeah, but I won't take that drum kit out. I used to have drum kits that I would rent to blues festivals. Like hell am I renting that drum kit to a blues festival.
Yeah.
that kit is that's the best kit I've ever played. Period. Of any of the drums I've ever played anywhere in the world. So that stays there because quite frankly, it would take me 3 hours to take it apart, 3 hours to put it back together at the other end. Whereas my gig kit, 25 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, let's do the news and let's do gear show and tell because even I can do some guitar stuff this week.
Ooh.
Right, you ready for this?
You got some toys.
So, with the arrival of the anniversary Tonex, the white one, I kind of got thinking, hang on a minute, I've got an H90, that's white. And I've got a Soldano pedal, that's white. And I've got a tuner and I went, I should do an all white pedal board. Right? But then I thought, well, I can't put that on any old pedal board. I've got to find a white pedal board.
I was just about to ask you.
Right. So there's a pedal board company called Pedalboard UK. I bought this. I've never heard of the brand before. Would you say Rauch? Ruach?
That's Ruach.
Ruach.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
But in the bag is this rather beautiful white timber.
Oh, look at that! That looks good, doesn't it?
That looks nice.
I haven't wired it up yet, which is the way to ruin the aesthetic of anything.
Yeah, once the wires start going, you know now you got to get white patch cables.
I've looked; they are 5 times more expensive.
Worth it though, but yeah, I'll show you what you need. You either need.
I need the white ones where the non-solder ones. You can't get white cable, and I need that. That's exactly what I want for it.
You want to put that on it?
Oh, that's it right there.
You want to put that on it first of all. I don't think it'll fit. And
you can make it work.
Yeah.
Kernan Ridge. Come on.
Put on it.
But I thought, how cool I know it's very silly, but the board itself is really nice. It's really solid. It's timber, so I don't, my ethical and what's the word?
Environmentalist.
Conservationist. The conservation is quite happy with it. They do loads of gadgets and bits where you can screw extra connectors in and stuff. And if you want to put the jacks in, you can do. And it was I
like that.
The board with the case was 150 quid.
Oh wow.
It's great. And it came with the felt, and they give you a whole load of Velcro to stick the pedals on.
I love Ruach.
Yeah, really, really good. I'd never even heard of them.
I just found them on Etsy, believe it or not, and I'm looking at they make guitar racks as well, like stands.
Oh.
Yeah, they make some big stuff as well, and I was like, this is really cool stuff.
Well done. Now that was a good find, actually.
Yeah, and I was like, they do different size ones as well, but I didn't need the huge one because obviously I haven't got that many white pedals. But the rule is only white pedals.
Okay.
There are lots of options out there. Lots of options.
So Phil, I don't know where you are on the whole Atmos thing.
I've listened in one studio room. That's how far I am into Atmos.
Okay. So first of all, Phil, can I apologize for the next?
No, you can't.
No.
Okay. Go on then. Get over and done with.
So our friends, I posted a picture last week on Facebook of the 2 pallets worth of speakers that arrived. Thanks to our friends at Cali Audio for sponsoring my little Atmos adventure. At which point you're just going to hold that up now, aren't you? Just to say, look, we're still a guitar channel, honest.
This is about guitars. This. Go on.
So my friends at Audient then said, "Do you fancy trying our Atmos controller?"
Oh, nice.
And they sent me their Aurea controller and stuff, which has got all the calibration and speaker correction, all that sort of in it. So that will be going in the rack, which I'm very excited about. The speakers are all here, but obviously I've got to mount the speakers in various places on the wall and from the trussing. I've got like truss actually running through the ceiling of the studio, which I think is cool and it's very practical. But all the gear from Triad Orbit has arrived this week. So, I mean, just to actually mount and angle the speakers are these rather heavy-duty, beautiful things.
Yeah, this is where I talk about the expense of Atmos, because like just the mounts, just to attach them to things is as much as some people spend on a set of studio monitors.
So that mount on its own should have been 150 quid.
And you need, what is it, 12 of them?
Well, I needed 8 of them.
Okay.
But to mount that on the wall, you then need the mounting plate. And the mounting plate is another 100 quid. But this thing weighs a ton. It's properly. So
it's a wonder how we lose subscribers, and you know
you can't imagine. Have y'all watched Colt Caparoon's channel? Do y'all know who Colt Caparoon is?
No.
He's a Nashville-based American YouTuber. He has a studio. He just did a huge makeover of his studio to go Atmos, and I've been watching his videos. I haven't met him yet. We run in a lot of the same circles, but I'm gonna run into him eventually. Yeah, and he did the whole makeover, and his I'll try to send that to y'all so y'all can see it. It's really, really fascinating seeing the work he went through, because this, it's what he does for a living all day, every day. So he needed to get it right. I'm just gonna be one of those guys. I don't know if I'm sold on Atmos yet. I don't know if I'm sold on the idea, because I know a lot of people have started to do this, like equating it to, oh, it's like when we went to stereo from mono. This is the next step. I was like, oh, really? Right. They also said the same thing about Blu-rays, and where are those now? In landfills.
And 5.1.
Yes.
So Philip, you and me exactly the same on this. Exactly the same. It sounds great. I love experiencing it, but am I going to go and get a system? Nah.
I was talking to someone about this the other day, and they said, look, it's not for our generation. If you only experience it, if it's your only experience, when you go somewhere and you go, all of a sudden everyone's doing it, as kids coming through will know that immersive audio, when they put their high-end Apple super things on, I kind of got where they were going. I'm going to do it. It's an adventure. I'm going to do it. And if it makes a couple of quid along the way, bonus.
But kids don't give a shit about it. Because kids just hold their phone up, or they're happy with their Alexa. I don't think
kids are still listening to Beats by Dre and thinking those headphones are good.
Exactly. There we go.
So on the absolute other end of the financial, what's it?
Yeah.
I did a video today, and it'll be going out probably on the main channel in the next couple of days on this thing. This is the most unsexy little product you will ever see. This is called the GND, or Ground Defender, from a company called iFi. And
can I say,
yeah,
I'm quite excited about this.
Right. And can I say, it'll look great plugged into your white pedal board.
Strangely, it was plugged into my kind of dirty white Vox AC30 earlier. So it kind of fit.
I'll explain what it does, because I think this could be genius.
Right. So what this does is it detects ground loops.
Oh.
So if you have say you plug your amp in at a venue or in the studio, and it goes, because that's what a ground loop is. In the UK, it's a 50 hertz tone. What this does is it detects the loop and lifts it intelligently. It doesn't basically cut the earth cable in your power cable, because that would be dangerous and would kill somebody. What it does is it basically temporarily lifts it with a resistance. And if it then detects an issue, a spike or a surge, reinstates it, and it's all automatic. There's no controls, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no Bluetooth or anything. Basically, what this did was made my amp go from going, my Vox go from going to going.
So when I gigged more regularly, I was a big 2 amp guy, and then not because the volume. It's not about volume. I would usually run something Voxy or Marshally and something Fendery because the Vox or Marshall's very mid forward, or a Tweed Fender, and then something scoopy. And I really liked the way it filled out the sound. But fighting the loop from running 2 amps, fighting the ground loop hum is insane. I've already pulled this up on Amazon. I'm probably going to order one today. They're $100.
They are £99. So the first thing people are going to say is, how are you holding it in your hand in the video when it's in the back of the amp? And my answer to that is, I've got 2 of them, you moron.
Hey, one for me. One for me.
Genuinely, I didn't expect it to be chalk and cheese. And I went, holy, no one's going to believe that it's doing what it's doing.
Okay, nice. I think that's. I think we've all got. You can go anywhere. I've definitely got ground issues in my studio.
How many times have you turned up at a venue and gone, Gah, and then found out it's because you're on the same ring main as the bar fridges?
Yeah.
They do another one called a DC blocker. So if you've got a DC voltage which is going back into your amp, which can be caused by transformers and other stuff in other places around your environment, not necessarily on your own property, but the other side of your consumer unit, possibly.
Right. Yeah.
This will stop the other type of hum, and you can use them together.
I was about to say, I just saw a ridiculous photo of someone using them together, and I'm like, it looks like that image that passes around IT circles of the adapter into an adapter into an adapter. And it's like 7 adapters to get from USB to like serial 13 pin.
But they are doing different things, and you totally legitimately can do that. But obviously, I would suggest putting a little block or something under the back of it. Otherwise, it's going to pull it out.
Yeah.
But totally and utterly genius for not that much dough. I think Paul's right. It should go on the main channel, and it will, because.
But why don't they just build like one box with everything in it? Why don't they just do that?
Because these guys are in a hi-fi world.
Okay.
That's where they come from.
They're not thinking about guitar amps.
They come from a hi-fi world, and do you know Graham from Shaw, Paul? Scottish Graham. Right. So I've known this guy for forever, and he worked for Shaw, and Graham basically is a phenomenal guitar collector and has got more Les Pauls than any human being on earth.
Nice.
Possibly not.
Joe Bonamassa would like to have a word.
Oh, yeah, he and Joe would get on very well. And he said, James, you have to try these. They're amazing. And I went, yeah, of course they are. Plug them in.
Is he Welsh?
No, he's Irish. I don't know. Look, I've done one half decent impression today. Just go with it.
Can I say? Can we skip the news today, because we're getting on a bit?
All right.
And I think we can move on to more questions. Have you got anything else to show, James?
No, not that I can show. I've got a couple of things I can't until soon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's not a lot of good news anyway today, so it's
fair enough. Let's carry on with
let's do that. Yeah,
questions then. And
cool. I love that pedal board, by the way. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad you like that. I was very pleased. I literally boom.
Jeff, I'm getting more and more excited about MIDI. Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
The pedal board with the ES8 has been the top cupboard for a few months, but now it's back in business, and the Tonix pedal is now on the board. Funny enough, I just rigged up my ES5. I've got an ES8 behind the desk somewhere, but for the rehearsal I did yesterday, I used the ES5, and pulling that out again, it's amazing. Like Philip, do you use switching systems?
I've done the ES8 a couple of times for big boards. I actually posted something about this on Threads recently. I've gotten to a point where I don't like big boards anymore, and so I don't worry too much about that kind of switching, because I'm not going to run more than, when I say this, know that I don't count volume pedals or tuners as pedals, they're utility, but I typically don't run more than 5 pedals at a time on any board. So,
But I can't believe unless it's something that is not psychosomatic. What's the word? What's the word when you do something and then your brain tells you it's better?
That's psychosomatic. Yeah, you had it right. Yeah.
So I rigged up the ESA the other day with on the same pedal board. I put all the pedals in the ES5, and I went, it instantly sounds more hi-fi. Instantly sounds more clean.
I'll tell you what. My biggest thing I hated with the switcher was dealing with the sheer number of cables you need to make it work. Inevitably, I'm twice as likely to end up with cable issues. And so, my preferred soldered patch cables don't fit for it. So I ended up trying to start making my own, and that's just a exercise in futility. But so I just finally got sick of tracing it down because it was always real weird. It was like I would get this one loop that just doesn't seem to work right, and then I pull it out. The cables all test good. Everything should be working good. Isn't doing it. Yeah, it's the cable, even though it tests good and it works in this other application. So I got tired of fighting the demon, and every time I built a board with them, I ended up hating it. And so I decided, you know what? I'd rather have a couple of different boards around the house for different purposes rather than build one big board that does everything. So that's what's ended up working for me. Let me see if I can even pick this up right now. What I did instead is I put this together. Exactly. Actually, it's not all that heavy. It was just under stuff. So.
Oh, cool. Oh, look at that.
So that's what I do. This is my do everything board when I need like ultimate versatility. I've got the 2-Chase Bliss, and then I do all my modulation, some fuzz, some other stuff with the HX effects. And I have them all MIDI'd together, and I can program them to where I can use the HX effects as a controller for the whole thing. And it just does everything I need.
Cool.
It should for as much as this stuff costs.
Yeah. I really want to try the 78. So it's
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so I had Angelo and Terry from Maris on the podcast, and I do have their Mercury X on a different board that I use for cover band gigs and stuff like that. And the reason I even got into that was because I had played this and the algorithms in the CXM 78. They changed my opinion on reverb pedals. I wasn't real big on reverb pedals. I've had the big box Strymon, I get this wrong, Big Sky, right? Not Blue Sky. Blue Sky is the small one.
Yeah.
And I've had the Boss RV 500, and I like the 78, the CXM way better.
So James, the 78 is a 224. It's a 224 in a pedal.
We can get the Maris stuff.
Can we?
Yeah.
Who from?
Bruce.
Oh, Bruce does Maris. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we can get the Maris stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But highly recommend. I also have the LVX. So full disclosure, when I had them on the podcast, they sent me the pedals to check out and to hold on to. And I like the LVX. That's the delay, the big box delay.
Yeah.
But the reverb completely broke my brain how good it sounded and how ridiculously amazing it is. So, and of course, the reason I bring that up is because even though that's Chase Bliss for the 78, Maris did the algorithms in it.
Right.
So all of the algorithms from the CXM 78 are in the Mercury X.
Cool.
So that's why I mentioned them.
See, the Lexicon 224 is my favorite reverb of all time. So it's, you can't lose with that. Jeff, he says, I don't know what I want, but I keep exploring to see what I can usually control via MIDI on the Strymon Volante. Boss MD500 and Tonex using the ES8 buttons or an expression pedal. Nice. You can really sort of get lost in the weeds, I think, with doing stuff like that. Can't you? It's almost like I could waste a day doing it and then going, oh God, I haven't done any playing and I've just tried to control something.
That's why I moved away from it. But if you're really into expression pedal usage, I'm going to recommend you try. So Mission Engineering builds a utility device called the Expressionator. I only know about this device because I didn't think it existed. So I started the design process of designing one only to find out Mission Engineering already make it. It allows you to use one expression pedal, plug it into the expressionator, and then it's got 3 expression outs to go to 3 other effects pedals. And then it's got a switch so you can rotate between the 3, and it memorizes your setting. So if I'm going to use these pedals, if you decide you want to control the volante, you're on the volante, you set your mix maybe, and then you hit the button to go over to the MD500, it saves your setting where you are on the volante, and now you're controlling the MD500 with the same pedal. And then you can cycle through them. It's super smart.
That's
and
brilliant.
Because it's Mission, they also do a white one, I bet.
They do.
There you go. Nice one, Jeff. Jeff says, I'm turning into a typical mad professor, sending PC and CC messages like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, I think you can just be great to experiment and stuff, and just I think some people just love doing that overplaying. So no, it's great. It's all good. It's all playing with guitars, isn't it? Paul says, evening chaps, let's get the likes up for the video people. Thanks, Paul. Yes, give us some likes. Oh, we've done this, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, this one.
Likes. Give us a like, because it's Yamaha. That's Yamaha. Where have I got Yamaha made? YouTube are smashing us at the moment with this, with our live show. They're not. Yeah, the algorithm, it gets ruined by this. Tim says, let's not talk politics. No, let's not talk politics.
3, 2, 1.
Willie! I don't actually know how to do this.
Well done, Willie. Des Halliday, never seen this dude in the chat. So this is Philip Carter from the Football Podcast.
Oh, you've seen me in the chat. You just haven't seen me in video. That's the thing.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, if you like podcasts, go and check out Philip's podcast. You're doing weekly, more or less?
More or less. It probably averages out to every other week. Miss a week here and there because it's not my full-time gig. So it is also on YouTube. So check out the YouTube channel. I'm hoping to start dropping more YouTube content. I'm sort of sorting out my filming and recording setup, because that's the problem. Filming it and recording the audio is the hard part. And I've been fighting my Captor X because it is just not functioning right. In fact, I had to send some more clips to 2 Notes this morning to see if it's something they can just replace it under warranty. And because I could mic up an amp in here, and I've done it before, but I just don't want to. It's just too small a space.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't know you were on YouTube. I would check that out now, because
Yeah.
I've been listening to the podcast for years. So
yeah.
So,
but yeah, check it out on YouTube. I've got a few videos over there. I've done a few things that are that have done okay, but I'm looking to amp that up in the next year or so. I want to do some more actual content that's not podcast, because let me tell you, YouTube hates hour-long podcast content. Yeah, it just doesn't like it. I don't have the personality of the boys over at that pedal show. It's just not going to work. So they managed to make it work, but even they talk about how hard it is for them putting up big hour-long episodes.
It's 2 people. I think it makes it easier when there's there's 2 people doing it.
Yeah.
But I've got to show. Look at the state of this. Okay.
Good work. Good work.
He's rubbing his balls all over the sofa.
That's what carefree living looks like right there.
I mean,
Yeah,
mate, you'd be doing it if we weren't here.
It's true. I would be, actually. I would be. Right. Dermot, Dolman guitars in Ireland, handmade, custom built for the client, starting at €2,500. Better value than anything from Big Maker's custom shop. I got 2 better than my Gibson Les Paul or Fender Strat. Nice one. I will check them out. Think about these companies, these small companies, and I'm sure I agree with this, because we're all doing the same sort of thing. But these small sort of boutique builders, they tend not to, the way to get your guitar out there is to get them on YouTube channels.
Yep.
And people talking about them, and it's unfortunate because there are so many fantastic builders out there that are basically unknown, because they're not sending them out, and they're not saying, just review this, have a look at this, get this out.
I run into great builder after great builder after great builder doing the podcast and going to events like Fretboard Summit and NAMM and stuff like that, and I'm just like, there's no way for all of you to be known. It's just not possible. I just recently I had them on the podcast. Maybe you listened to it already, Paul. Had the guys from Scythe Guitars on the podcast.
Yeah.
Woof. They're making some of the best guitars I've ever played, and they're still relatively unknown. Nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
What were the plastic guitar? Not plastic's the wrong word. What were those guitars we played at NAMM, Paul? That were the resin guitars.
Oh, the Mexican company.
They were.
They're at Guitar Summit as well. What are they called? Oh, they're weird. They look like Explorers, but they've got like resin tops on them, so they can basically put anything in the top, and they're not cheap. It's a Mexican company. And yeah, then they do ones that change color. It's a yeah, no, it wasn't.
Is it Xolo? XOLO?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
They're Mexican. It's a Mexican sort of boutique sort of.
I thought they were cool. They were playing through rev amps, and they were sounding amazing.
I think they look fairly cool. I think they're a bit gimmicky. You know, it's basically if you want to have a guitar with, I don't know, a bunch of gold rings in the top of the guitar, you can do that sort of thing, or glitter. Or you can do anything you want.
No, I don't mean them. I mean the ones we tried on the last day.
Sorry.
The really.
Oh, you're talking about Aristides.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They were great.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really good. Where are they made? I think they're in
Swedish, something like that.
I think it is Swedish. It's
Swedish
or Norway. It's mainly for the metal player, I would say.
Netherlands.
Really nice.
Oh, nice one.
Really nice guitars.
Yeah, they're a little non-traditional for me. I'm a Luddite here, but I think I've played them and they play great. Aesthetically, they're just a little much for me, but I'm just a boring old blues guy. So
hey, I love the traditional stuff as well. Judge Shreds is great, isn't it? Love that. A Boss GX10 a week ago and running it through a Fender FR10. So it sounds very good. Saw a video where they ran a Tonex along with the GX10. Is that unnecessary? I think it's a perfect addition because personally, I think, you know, the capture side of things, you can capture your favorite amp or play through your favorite amp inside the Boss unit. I think the Boss amps inside their units are great and they're fine, but personally, I'd rather play through a TWS or whatever and have that going through and using the Boss effects, which are really good.
Yeah.
Hollywood evening all. I missed last week. Hope you're all well. And you, mate. Hope you're well too. Michael, how old is everyone? And how many years have you been playing guitar? I was 55, 40. I'm 50. I was 50 this year. I still can't believe that. And I started playing when I was 14, 15.
I am 47. I think I started playing guitar when I was 13, 14, drums when I was 7.
Oh, wow. I am 43 and I have been playing guitar for 25 years.
Oh, the babe of the bunch.
Yeah, I started my senior year of high school. So,
wow. Michael, 35. Oh, 35 likes, 74 watching. Come on, guys, hit the like button.
Please do.
Give us a like. Come on. Timmy Tomey from all Valve Marshall amps. Which sounds better clean? Oh, good one. Go on, Philip. You're a vintage amp guy. What do you think?
You got to get the 100-watt plexi. That's just, I mean, if you want clean, 100-watt plexi. That's where it is. I did sell mine. I had one for a while, one of the hand-wired ones, but
I've got to agree with you. I think that is the ultimate Marshall and sounds awesome clean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you know what?
Don't you dare say it.
What?
You're going to say something like a DSL or something.
The JVM 410.
No, but the kid in me on a Saturday afternoon in the music shop, and from owning one, and I still can't believe I sold it. it was the amp I always wanted. The JCM 900
Mm.
dual reverb, dual gain. That was.
But you're not reading the question. He said clean.
For clean.
Yeah, but the clean channel would do clean and it would do gritty, and that was what the best thing was. You could drive the gain on the channel 1 to kind of Gary Moore level, clean on the verge of breakup grit, and then you could just hit the
No
button.
one bought a JCM 900 for the clean tone.
No,
No one in the history of guitar.
I know.
Right.
No one cared about that clean tone. That channel, you could have made those amps cheaper just by taking that channel away, and everyone would have been okay.
I know. So I had the 2-channel JCM 800.
Mm-hmm.
And then I couldn't work out why the clean channel wouldn't be clean when I turned the other channel up. I had no idea what cascading gain even was.
Yeah.
Because I was a child and I had no idea. But I knew that amp sounded absolutely phenomenal, and I should never have bloody sold it because I'm an idiot.
We've all got those stories. What I want to understand is the psychology of buying an all-valve Marshall amp for the clean sound. Like I get the 100-watt plexi can do it, and it sounded great. You know what it still sounded better at? Being cranked. That's what it sounded better at. So I don't know.
I bought a twin for clean. See, in my head, I'm Eric Johnson. I want the twin for clean, the Marshall for filth. However, in my fingers, I'm not quite so Eric Johnson.
As a kid, that was always our rig we wanted, right? That was the one you always dreamed of, where you had a twin for clean and you had the Marshall for cranked sounds. Back when I had my 100-watt plexi in here, in this room with a 412. I did finally plug it in and set it up that way with an AB box. I don't have a twin though, but I do have a 2-rock traditional clean, and that's close enough.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, it was not as much fun as I thought it would be. It just wasn't.
And I was going to ask you a question. I heard that you were going to get some, or you were trying some Amplified Nation stuff.
I have tried a little bit of it. I had a Bombshell overdrive. I have gotten to play the Wonderland overdrive I played?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other on the Amplified Nation stuff. The Bombshell overdrive I had was a really good amp. It was a really, really good amp. I think it was worth every penny. I got it used, tried it for a little while, then moved it on. As you guys are very familiar with that concept, getting something for a little while, moving it on. And this is one of those things where I have to say I've never played a Dumble, first of all. I've never gotten to play one. I've gotten really close a couple of times to getting to play one, but things happen, and I didn't get to. But I've listened to a lot of Dumble amps, and the Bombshell I felt like did get close. It got pretty close to that sound, but then also the TS1 I feel like gets really, really, really close. And I like the TS1 a little better than the Bombshell I had. And it has to do with, like, there's a roundness in the clean sound of it that I didn't quite get in the Amplified Nation. And honestly, the overdrive was just a little, like a hair smoother, which I don't think is a Dumble thing, but it's just what I preferred. But then on the same time, I played another Bombshell overdrive in a guitar shop. I won't say which one or where, so nobody knows where they're getting it. And that thing did not sound good.
Oh,
like,
really?
Mine sounded great. That one didn't sound good at all. I don't know if it was cabs, speakers, whatever it was. But so I don't know. I'm a little lukewarm on the Amplified Nation stuff, but it's also partially, remember that psychosomatic thing we were talking about? I know Eli at 2-Rock. Eli and I are friends. We chat, not all the time, but pretty often. So there's a part of that gets put into the value of the 2-Rock to me, that I'm friends with the guy that makes these. My TS1, Eli built on his bench for me.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I paid for it. I bought it, but still he built it for me. So there's a little bit of that as well. So I just end up sticking in the 2-Rock camp.
Nice.
And that's not a bad camp to be in. I mean,
no, this is such a place of privilege to be talking about. Do I want this $4,000 amplifier, or do I want this $4,000 amplifier?
And as soon as and I'm going to throw this one in because I have to, because I now own one. That red plate is absolutely phenomenal.
They're one of those companies I want to try. There's one for sale on the gear page that I keep staring at that I don't need to buy. I don't need to be spending money, but they're on my I want to play this list. I want to try a Carol Ann. I want to try a red plate. I want to try a Van Wielden. I want to try all these different ODS variants of people that have made their circuits. I can't afford to play them all.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't have the red plate if a friend of the Rats hadn't made us a very good offer for me to buy an amp. That the people who played it 2 years before were us. So yeah, it was one of those. But I mean, oh god, that's a great amp. That's a never leaving this room amp.
Yeah. Yeah, the only one I have plumbed into my rig right now is the Vintage Deluxe from Two Rock.
Oh, I haven't tried one of them. I quite fancy trying one of them.
So that is, I'll tell you that as much as I love I've got several Two Rocks at this point. We've had that conversation. The vintage. So I named my podcast 40 Watt Podcast. I named it after my favorite amp, which is Vintage Super Reverb. Mm-hmm. And so I've had the same Super Reverb for almost 20 years. It's like 18 years now. Nice. And that was my Till Death Do Us Part amp. No matter what else I had, it was the one thing I realized how much a part of me it was when somebody asked me how many amps I had, and I told them, and I was like, wait, I'm sorry. No, it's one more, because I don't even think about the Super. It's just part of me. But the Vintage Deluxe gets me all of that. Oof. But it also does tweed sounds because you can change the preamp to change from the 3-knob black panel style to the single knob tweed style. And it's got bias trim instead of optical trim. And I much prefer bias trim. So nice. That's my Till Death Do Us Part amp. I'm not making Kelly grab that one though. We can buy another one. That one's fine. That one can burn in the house if it has to.
Al says, come on, Jivey, let's see these audio toys. Well, we've done that.
We've done it.
Yeah. Michael says, has anyone ever suffered from a tendon injury? That and arthritis has really affected me recently. Oh, bless you, mate. Anyone?
Only from drumming, as in I've had tendinitis and stuff from stupidity, playing too hard. And
I haven't had any real issues. I have a damaged wrist from a high school injury, but that's about it. Doesn't have anything to do with repetitive stress or anything.
Re-guitar. Yeah. Bless you, mate. I hope fingers crossed it will get better and stuff. Go and see someone if I think it's worth seeing someone over. Hollywood. Paul, regarding the Rev Stars, I saw Tim Pierce Grammys 2024 video. He plays with the famous Dean Parks. Dean Parks used a normal production Rev Star most of the show. Nice.
Dean is a phenomenal player.
Oh yes, sure is
off the chart.
Hollywood, go check out the Grammys video. Yeah, we'll do that. Guitar King, what do you guys think about the PRS SC Custom 24?
They look amazing. I've not played one, but they look phenomenal.
They're a modern PRS guitar. I guarantee they're going to play great. I mean, that's just it. If it appeals to you, that's a great guitar then. Because I've yet to play a modern PRS that's a dog. I've played some older PRSs that were dogs. I haven't played anything from them in the last 5 years that I thought was not a great guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Stiletti 1. Just purchased a Boss GX10. Do you recommend connecting directly to an active studio monitor instead of an amp? Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think you're going to get the most out of that way, especially with the stereo effects and that sort of stuff.
Yep.
JP, I love my jam pedals Pink Flow. It does pretty much all I need. Yeah, it's a great pedal. That's big one.
That on that board would be amazing.
Dave, all the Series 3 pedals in white. That's true. The JHS Series 3, James.
Yep.
Keith, Colt Caparoon did a video on Atmos where he called it a pointless fad. I tend to agree for most music applications.
It's funny because he was the guy I told you did the video where he converted his studio to an Atmos studio, and I don't know where he stands on it now, other than he's got the full rig now. So
changed his mind. Excellent. An awful lot. Probably the majority of immersive listening setups are actually fairly crappy sound bars in rooms with poor acoustics or similar. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as a caveat, that's not changing.
No.
That's the real point. We can talk about, the commercial availability of systems that can reproduce Atmos. That's still going to be like 3% of your people who listen and watch and do. The vast majority are going to be watching in stereo.
What was really interesting as well, that Steve, Paul and my buddy Steve Genowick, who was staff engineer at Capital and yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
He if he hasn't already written it, he's probably writing the book on mixing music in Atmos. He said one of the big things that people have forgotten is that most mixing environments were designed for the music to go that way.
Yeah.
They weren't designed for the music to come back the other way. So I was like, oh shit, I've got to I don't say for my level of stuff, it's not an issue. But I mean, if you're spending, 60, 70, 100, 200 grand on PMCs or whatever.
I love the idea of Atmos because I love immersive sound experiences, right? But like, I'm just trying to imagine listening to like Americana or blues or roots rock in Atmos. It doesn't make any sense.
No, the only thing I would say, and this is something I'm really keen on doing. One of the things I do is I record lots of live gigs, as in I'll go out and record shows. I love the idea of not only capturing everything that's happening on stage, but also audience mics where your mids are going to be, and then rears and heights. So instead of going, I'm going to mix this in Atmos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sound of those positions into the immersive mix.
Yeah.
Now that I like the idea, because then I'm listening in the audience, and cool.
I think that's going to give you the opportunity, and I think this could be cool, especially, I don't know if it's still not quite caught on, I think, the way everybody thought it was, but if VR experiences really catch on, and suddenly you get to watch live band, like you're watching a live show like we watch on YouTube or whatever, Netflix, but now you can watch it in VR mixed in Atmos. It's like you're there. You can look around. It's a full 3D experience, both in sound and visual. That sounds awesome. But I don't think the, everyday dude jumping on a bus on his way to work is going to care whether it's mixed in Atmos or 2.1 or whatever it's mixed in, because he can barely hear it over the sound of the engines anyway.
And the other thing I really like, and I won't wax on about this too much, is in game audio and in kind of like, again, VR, there's a thing that's referred to, if you're a Star Wars fan or you're into like the Mandalorian or any of the new stuff, it's referred to as the parallax engine, where the field of view is altered, and what you're seeing is altered by your field of view. It's all to do with gaming engines and that sort of stuff. And I'm just kind of scratching the surface of that and trying to work out how to mix that in with immersive audio, and I think that's going to be cool. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that, but the technology is becoming available to those in not suites paid for by Disney, should we say?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's another thing that I'm exploring, but
I think that's the far more likely future use of Atmos than in just standard music mixing.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of this as a business case, which is rare for me to actually think of anything other than a vanity project. Let's carry on.
David, because these go to 11.
Yes, the 11 rack, definitely. Yeah.
Adam, I'm in the market for a 50s Les Paul Standard, Tobacco Sunburst or Heritage Cherry Sunburst. What's your thought?
Definitely get one.
Can I just say, I'll give you the background on Adam. Adam has some really, really, really pricey amps. He's got a 2-Rock classic reverb signature with the big 2x12. He's got lots and lots of boutique amps.
Right.
So and I'll let you. So I'll lay the groundwork. You guys say, and then I'll say what I think he should do.
Okay.
on.
I'll give you my opinion then real quick. I'll tell you when I bought my 50 standard, which I don't have anymore, and that's just because I did finally get the guitar that's directly above my head and don't need it. The standard I had. Go play every one you can find and buy the best one regardless of the color of those two. If you like both of those colors, then let the guitar you find dictate which which finish you buy. When I bought mine, I bought mine from Sweetwater, so I didn't get to go try mine, but I talked to my rep, who I think I've had the same Sweetwater rep for like 15 years. He's been there a long time, and I've gotten to know him, and I was like, Forrest, I need you to like take some time, go play every 50s standard under 9 pounds that you have, or under 9.5 pounds, I think I said at the time. And I don't care P90s, humbuckers, I don't care gold top, burst, whatever, find the best playing one. And that's what I did. Now, if you really want my opinion though, don't buy, if you're buying new, or if you're looking at new price, don't buy either one of those. Save your money. Hunt a used R8. Hunt a used custom shop R8. I bought the R8 above my head for $3,300.
You basically said everything I was going to say. Basically, That's exactly what I was going to say. Get a custom shop. You've got price down, get a custom shop.
My advice was going to be you have to play them because they are all so different. I know they shouldn't be, but they are.
And I think as well, the great thing about a Gibson, especially if you buy a second-hand one, and unfortunately, so Adam lives in Czech, so he, in the Czech
little
Republic,
tougher.
so it is a little tougher, but he's English, so he's English born, but he married a Czech lady, so they live out there now. And I think next time Adam's over in the UK, I think Adam should go and try them out. I think the thing is, I always look at a guitar, yes, to play and stuff like that, but it's also an investment piece. So if you go and buy a second-hand one, you'll never lose money on a second-hand Les Paul.
And I hate to say it, the only way not to lose money on guitars is to buy something with F4G on the headstock.
Yeah, and the custom shop as well, because it does, whether it that it's going to hold its value.
I'll give a testament here too as well. I mean, I've got this Novo right here, right? There was a little while there. I say a little while. There were like 3 years where Novos were selling secondhand for 20%, 30% markup from new price because the wait list had gotten long, and they were the flavor of the month, and everybody was into them. Don't get me wrong; they're still incredible guitars, but even they have started to dip now into the realm of used. They're starting to get pretty affordable for some of them. Some people are still trying to pull 2021 money for them. If you care about the value of something long term, if you're not talking just to play, but as like, you want to make sure you don't lose money on it, it's got to say Fender or Gibson on it, or Martin, or PRS, the major brands.
But even PRS, you can pick up a PRS, not an S. You can pick up a PRS for sensible money. If you're looking for something like an Ernie Ball Luke or a Petrucci, you can pick those up for next to nothing by comparison to something with F4G on the headstock.
Yep. I really still want one of the Ernie Ball Steve Morse guitars. They brought them back, right?
Yeah.
They brought him back. I love Steve Morse was one of my first guitar heroes. Can't play anything like him. But those things are selling for $3,100 brand new. You can buy used Steve Morse for $1,700 if you hunt long enough.
I want a Luke and I want a JP. But in my in my guitar wall of I've got everything that I ever wanted. I want a Luke and a JP.
Gotcha. I get you.
Can I say as well? Just go back to Adam.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I also think, don't dismiss a P90 Les Paul, like an R6.
Yeah.
Because they're arguably, I think my R6 sounds better than my Murphy Lab 59.
Your gold top does sound amazing.
Yeah. It's a really and it's got a massive chunky neck on it, which I love because it's that era. Well, the 59's got a slightly thinner neck. Like the 58's got the bigger neck, isn't it?
Yep,
Is
correct.
That right?
Yep.
So I think me and Adam were having this conversation earlier, a couple of days ago, about thickness of neck and does it make a difference? And I think it does.
I totally think it does, but also talking money. Don't look especially if burst is your finish. Like if that's your finish, like you want to burst no matter what, gold top's not in the cards. It is possible to find an R7 in a burst. Those are rare, but don't go for an R9. Don't look for one. Don't even look at them because those things are $5-6 grand used. Like they just don't depreciate like the R8 does. For some reason, people don't. They sleep on the R8 used. They sleep on the R7. They really sleep on the R6 used if you're okay with P90s and a gold top. Those necks are all kind of similar to me. I know they're different, but for thickness wise, hunt those used. And if you can, like the way I bought mine, because I do live in a gear desert, I can't just go walk out my door and find a good shop, right? Nashville's 4.5 hours from me, and that's like the closest like good gear location. I went on the gear page and just said want to buy Gibson R8, and found a guy who had the right feedback that I trusted and wanted to sell me one at a decent price.
Great.
And I got lucky. I didn't get to play it first, but I got lucky. I also think you get lucky more often with the custom shop stuff. The consistency is just better.
Yeah, completely. Couldn't agree more.
At this point,
cheers, Joe. Hope you're well, mate. He said, running late as always. Thanks for all your help yesterday, Paul. Anytime, mate. I'm glad. So Joe's got a new YouTube channel that he's promoting, and it's doing good. Doing really good.
Great.
Yeah. Pet 42 here and 20 years plus playing.
Great work.
Major Pentonic. I'm 66 and still got a lot to learn. Haven't we all, mate?
Haven't we all?
Nectarius, I came across a video of yours using the blue guitar thingy where you claimed the edge of breakup tones sit better in a mix than perfectly clean ones. Why is that? It's all about distortion at the end of the day.
Saturation, distortion, yeah.
Saturation, that's probably a better word for it. So if you have a pristine clean tone, it doesn't sit in the mix as well as one with I mean, in the mix, it is perceived as clean.
Yeah.
But a little bit of hair on the tone, it just sits in the mix better.
It's that transient at the front of the attack. When you're not compressing and there's no hair, it stands out a lot and doesn't just blend in very well. But once you add just that softening of the transient where it doesn't just immediately all hit at once, envelope of the note, and we can get really, really nerdy with the way we talk about it. I'm not good at the nerdy talk, but it makes it smoother sounding.
And you know what? It works really well on guitar, but it works really well on bass.
It works really well on bass.
Yeah, really good on snare drums.
Yeah. So true.
A bit of oh god, what's it called? Sans amp on your snare drum.
Yep. I use the where is it? I don't know that I can reach it easily. I use the JHS color box on snare drums.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Jonathan, LM8, he says, hung like I was 21. Hung. The mirror says 59 at the end of this month. Nice.
Well, I'm gonna smile sweetly and keep moving.
Moving on.
Nick Torres, what is it that you like about Dumble style amps?
Their unobtainability.
Clarity. Pure and simple clarity.
Isn't it funny? Do you think it's because it's a Fender amp, but without the scoops, with a bit more mid push?
Yeah, and also, so Fender amps, because of the high end, they can get kind of fizzy when you start driving them really hard. Something about whatever tweaks Dumble did, and obviously every one of them is different, and everybody wants to yell about it. But that stereotypical Dumble tone, it doesn't do that.
No.
It's crisp without sounding like paper wrinkling.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I love it.
Shep, Mike Hennessy, cold compress followed by heat compress works for arthritis.
Yeah,
Good tip, Shep.
that is
Good
true.
tip. Thanks, Shep. Keith, there's an AR phone game called Ingress, which has immersive audio. If you have compatible earbuds, the audio changes as you walk around the streets. Playing the game, it's okay, but just okay.
I've never used that feature in Ingress, but I have played Ingress. Ingress is made by the same company that made Pokemon Go.
Right.
And it's a lot of the same concepts, and it's basically the same game. They just took the Ingress. In Ingress, it's basically sci-fi, and you're competing against factions, and they just picked that skin up off of it and dumped a Pokemon skin over the top of Ingress.
So my brother works for he calls it immersive marketing. You know, when you hold up a QR, or you find a QR code somewhere and you hold your phone up to it, and then the character appears on your phone. But if
yeah.
And I was like, how the hell do you do that? That's really cool. And he said, yeah, it's a so-and-so engine. It's blah, blah, blah. And I go, yeah. Do you need some tunes? He said, yeah, if you can mix it in Atmos. And I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah. See, you're on your way.
There's a certain amount of planning going on. Not very much, but boom, there.
Adam, he said, thanks, chat. So we're back in the UK at Christmas. So looks like a trip to Anderton's or Peach, I think he means.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're go to Peach, give us a shout. I'll join you because I'm only up the road.
LA Guitar, this is Lee. Lee says, are you still going? I thought it'd be all over. Been out. Oh, mate, he's been out. Yeah, God, geez, we are going late.
It's my fault. I dragged it out.
No, mate, no, not just been a pleasure. Jeff says, read my fascination with MIDI. I'm using expression pedal via assignments in the ES8 so I can control any pedal with multiple pedals at the same time. Nice.
I forgot it had that function. That is a really good way to do it.
Adam says, thanks, chaps. I'm going to try a few on Friday, but given your advice, I might hold off until I'm back at UK at Christmas. If you find a good one, it's a good one.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
If you find a good one that speaks to you and it's in your price range that you're looking at, grab it.
Yeah. Jeff, the pedal itself is FB500 volume pedal. The volume is part of a loop, so I can effectively turn off that part and just use it as an expression pedal. Nice.
Yeah, we like that. Does it come in white?
And lastly, Michael MC. Hi, Paul. What are your thoughts on the Boss Nextone? Would you pick a Nextone or Katana Gen 3? Oh, Katana Gen 3.
Purely because of the push.
Yeah, because of the push tone. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm going through this right now, actually, looking for a digital amp solution because I play. A lot of people don't understand these gigs. I play for high school show choirs. I get hired by these high school choir competitions, and they're like having live bands. And so, but It's very, very, and we're not silent stage, right? So we still need volume backstage, but I needed a direct solution, and carrying my heavy amplifiers around for 15 minutes of music. It's literally 15 minutes of music. Like 3-minute setup, 15 minutes of music, 2-minute teardown. You got to get in and off stage that fast.
Wow.
And I think I'm going with the Line 6 Katana. I mean, a Catalyst. I really, really, really like the amp tones in the Catalyst.
Oh, wow. I've never tried one.
You got to try one of those. I do love the Katana. I think the Katana is really, really good. But part of also wanting the absolute simplest setup possible was Catalyst has XLR out instead of a balanced TRS out, which is just, it's easier, and I don't have to worry about, we can't find that cable, or it's busted, and everyone has a bunch of XLR cables sitting around.
Yeah.
But I like the simplicity of the Catalyst.
Nice.
Right. Cool. Last two.
I haven't got a clue what that means.
Nor have I.
Me either.
Al says, do you still need an appointment for Peach? I think you do, yeah.
You do. Yes, you do. Cool. Well, sir, thank you so much. For
it has been a pleasure.
From Paul and I wittering on.
It's just me rambling on. He's just adding a southern accent in here. It's all it is.
No, thanks, mate. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who's joined us. We are not sure yet. We may be changing the way we do these live shows. We still want to do them because Paul and I still get a kick out doing it. But it's for some reason that the gods of YouTube don't see that this is any beneficial benefit to the channel. So we might change things. So please do keep an eye. Whatever we do, we'll post we'll make posts on all 3 platforms, or however we do it. We will make sure it still happens. We just need to work out what, because obviously this is what we do for a job these days, so it kind of does affect it. But thank you so much, Phil, for joining us. It's been an absolute blast. You are welcome anytime, sir. Mainly just so I can look at that back wall of loveliness.
We'll do a show and tell one day. We'll go through them.
Hell yeah.
Let's do that.
Thank you to everyone out there who's joined us as usual. We'll see you next week for more of the same. But for now, from myself and from my partner in crime over there, see you next time. Take care. Have a great week of playing and stuff, and we'll see you very soon. Good night.
Cheers, guys.